Hey everyone, thanks for joining us in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm Molly O'Brien, and I would like you to meet one of our emerging leaders, Richard Norris. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you, Molly. Nice having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, love having you here. So the United Way and Go Local Prof teams up to recognize emerging leaders within our community. So we would like to introduce you to one of them. So thanks for coming in here today. You're a guidance counselor at Dr. Jorge Alvarez School in Providence. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about what you do within the community and a little bit about the work that you do. So tell us just a little bit about your job and why it's important to you.
Oh man, where do I start? I mean, as a guidance counselor, I think you wear so many hats. Lots of times the situation dictates what you become. So primarily, I work with some 9th to 12th graders at Dr. Jorge Alvarez High School. It's on the south side, the Elmwood and Reservoir split. And primarily my job is to be able to provide information to help the kids get from, to be able to, require their credits, get to college, help them with the application process, and provide college trips when I can. So that's the basics of my job, to be able to communicate with families as well. I do a lot of that through, social media, through going to homes, through community visits. I mean, wherever it is I need to go in the community, I will be there. So if there's a church out there that needs me, I'm coming. Now, whatever it is I got to do. So that's the basis of my job.
I like that. And I think that guidance counselors can play such a crucial role in young people's lives and really helping them on a path, helping them get going and provide just like an extra source of motivation, right?
I think I didn't realize the importance of a guidance counselor until I became one. I think too, as a man of color, even more important now, because I think I can't remember having a guidance counselor of color throughout middle school or high school. I mean, I've had excellent guidance counselors. As a matter of fact, I work with the head of guidance now, was actually my high school guidance counselor.
I love that story.
And it's crazy because he was my basketball coach in high school. And here is a guy who every day mentors me. But as a man of color, I think it's important for me to be in the school system, because if you look at the Providence High School population, it doesn't necessarily, the staff doesn't necessarily reflect the color of the students.
Student body.
So the student body, but and not to take anything away from the staff, these people do excellent work, but I think for me, I didn't realize it till now. And every day my job becomes more and more important to me. It's almost like you can't take a day off. You can't have a weak spot here and there. You do your very best.
And just being able to connect in so many different ways. So I think that's valuable. Something else that you do, you are the vice president of 300 Men, which is a local men's group who helps provide mentorship for young boys of color within the city. So not only are you there for kids, I shouldn't say kids, for young adults within the school, but you're there on the outside as well. So talk to me a little bit about, you're dedicating your life to this.
That's the thing about this though. Before I got into this, you see these community activists and you see them come and you see them go, but it's a everyday work almost till the day you pass, pretty much, because it doesn't stop. As far as 300 Men goes, a gentleman named Raymond Smith. So one day I'm walking to Alvarez High School. What I used to do when I taught at Gilbert Stewart Middle School, on my free period, I would go to Alvarez High School and I'll sit in the guidance office and say, hey, I want to be a counselor one day. I'm going to see what you do so I can emulate it. So as I'm coming out to school one day, Ray Smith said, hey, young brother, here is a sign. We're trying to form this men's group to intervene in young boys' lives. So 300 Men. Okay. I'll try it anyway. At the time, I already had a boys group at Gilbert Stewart called the Gilbert Stewart Gentlemen Association. So looking at Ray's vision, it aligned with what I was doing. So instead of creating another group, I sort of said, hey, we're doing the same things. Let's just bring it together.
Let's merge it up.
300 Men, really, we have 3 boys group. One is at West Broadway Middle School. We have one at Gilbert Stewart Middle School with Erling Rogel. He runs the group there. And then myself at Alvarez High School. So we follow these guys from 6th grade till they graduate. We provide Saturday school for them. We take them to college visits. So from 6th grade till by the time they reach 11th grade, most of these boys have visited at least 10 colleges.
Wow.
So it's like, if we're
That's awesome.
If we're gonna keep
I didn't even visit 10 colleges.
If we're gonna keep
who
talking,
visits 10 colleges? That's amazing. amazing.
And the
That's
thing
a
is,
lot.
think about it. On their April vacation, right? Lots of these guys are gonna stay home and play video games. We make sure that we have at least a day or two in there where they go. Just recently, the April vacation, the last one, we took them to NYU. One of the things too, hey,
That's awesome.
get them out the city, you know, a little bit, get them out the city. And as you're going through and they're looking at these gigantic buildings, they're like, wow, I've never been here before. But I know I came to this country when I was 12 years old. I didn't leave the South Side till I turned 17. My whole world was Southside Providence.
There. Yeah.
And the place I left was to go to University of Rhode Island. That changed my whole world. Because I was going to go to the military right after high school. Just going to one college visit at URI, thanks to my high school guidance counselor, Mr. Tedeschi, again, changed my whole perspective. So, you know, taking these guys out, I mean, we're there for graduations, we're there for baptism, we communicate with family. At the end of the year, we bring all the family. I mean, when families can't make it to meetings for school-related things, they call me, I'm going. So it's like, you become such a part of these guys' family. I call them all my sons now. They're all my sons. Everybody wonder how many children I have, but they're my sons. You know, shout out to my sons.
Hi, sons. I'm gonna have you scoot over just a little bit. I probably scared you away when I yelled
no,
about how cool that is that they got rid of 10 college
I
students.
enjoy it. Absolutely enjoy
That's
it.
so amazing. Probably scared you away with my yelling. Sorry. Talking about, I can be very loud. I find that so incredible and so valuable that you can be part of these young men's lives and be part of it. I think that's so valuable in so many ways. Talk to me why it's important to you to be there. That's a really big dedication.
It is. It takes a lot of your time away, but I've always believed that, you know, you leave this world a better place than you met it. What was handed to you, your job is to sort of improve it. And, you know, coming into this country, I mean, here's this new guy from Liberia in the middle of the school year, and I had 2 teachers at Gilbert Stewart Middle School. That's where I went to middle school and then ended up teaching there later on. But I had Miss Rebezzo and this guy, Mr. Taylor. They kind of just took me under their wing. You know, they helped me out. So I promised myself, you know, if I ever was in a position to help other people, I would dedicate my life to it. And it's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy at all. It's a lot. But just having somebody else care for you the way, you know, they treated me like I was one of their family members. So, I mean, education, being a guidance counselor, that was the furthest thing. I was going to go to school for engineering. But going back and coming back into my neighborhood, once seeing the fact that there weren't that many men of color in the school, so kind of switched to education. But just the fact that people took care of me, it was important to me that I take care of other people too. And that's, I mean, as long as I have breath in me, that's what I'm going to keep doing.
Do you feel like it was that powerful thing moving forward that someone made a difference with you, and so you feel like then you had to go and make that positive difference?
Absolutely, and I think too, just in my nature, just watching my parents, the way they took care of people back home in Liberia. I don't know if you noticed, but I came from a civil war, you know. By watching my mother just share the very last of what she had, even during the war, with other people, you know, I didn't really like it at first, you know, we got a little bit of food and now you got to go share with the whole community. Like, come on, Mom, what's going on? But then that just kind of, I guess it started to build something in you. So now sharing yourself with the rest of the world, the best that you can give to other people, I think it was important to me. You know, people taking care of me, but also coming from a very strong family that teaches you that it's important that you take care of other people. So that's just something that stuck with me, and I don't see myself changing it anytime soon, and that's something I also instill to these guys. For instance, when we go on college trips now, we don't usually use the university. We use our guys that are already planted in college.
Oh,
so
wow.
now they give the tour instead of you. So they give the kids a real, universities are going to sell, yes, they're going to sell themselves. But these guys say, hey, here's what I like about this school, here's what I don't like about this school. So guys are giving back now. And they're even coming down to Saturday school sometimes to help out,
That's awesome.
So that's the big thing with this. What 300 Men is trying to do is build a community around young men and then have them come back in turn give to the community. So we couldn't have asked for anything better.
I love it. I love that. I love the program. I love the fact that creating people who then in turn want to continue, right? Continue to give, because it can be tough, it can be tough. I want to talk a little bit about, you've mentioned a little bit about your backstory, where you've come from, and a little bit about your history. Do you feel like that's in turn given you, kind of helped you, pushed you to be who you are today?
I think when you come from absolutely nothing, when you come to the point where your life was almost at risk, that Civil War claimed so many people's lives. Some of the people I knew. I mean, at a very young age, I learned what death was. And then, the person wasn't coming back. So coming from absolutely nothing to being granted this gift of life again. So every day I wake up with this excitement, like, hey, I'm still alive, so I got something to accomplish today. And what can I do today to make somebody else's life better? I think I go to sleep with that thought, and I try to wake up with that, What can I do to help somebody else be better today? Even if it's one thing, you go to school every single day, you say, I want to change 100 people's lives. Well, maybe you just changed one, but at least you made a difference today. And at least that's the thing that keeps me going, just coming from nothing, put it like that. So.
Well, I think you're changing my life just by standing here talking to me. My goodness, what an inspiration. And we're just talking that we're doing basketball camp today. So the mission continues, impacting people's lives every single day. Are you having fun? Did you have fun at basketball camp?
Oh, absolutely.
You have to have a little bit of fun,
the
right?
younger guys still think they can beat me. I can still hoop a little bit, fellas. So every now and then, I give them the work. I can still shoot a little bit, still dribble. But I really, really enjoy working with these guys. There's a certain joy that I get from this that is hard to explain. To see just young guys and girls just develop, reach their highest potential. I get excited just going to work every morning. I usually try to beat everybody in the building there. There's this one guy at school that gets there before me, but I'm going to get him next year. But I always try to beat people, and I'm excited about what I do. I'm blessed to be, a counselor in the city of Providence. I really wouldn't have wanted to work anywhere else because I think this place Providence just fits me. I understand it, and I'm working more and more to understand it. So I enjoy it. I really do.
I like that. I like that attitude. Let's have some fun questions. Do you have a favorite book or a book that sticks out to you?
Favorite book, Autobiography of Malcolm X. Because it just shows how a person can go through a lot, and every time they acquire new information, they change with that information. So for me, that's one of the books that stands out.
Do you have a favorite restaurant or place to eat?
Oh, Marchetti's. Marchetti's number one. But I gotta say, since I moved down the street from Los Andes,
you can't beat it.
It's starting to be it's getting up there. But Marchetti's and Los Andes, Marchetti's a lasagna. I mean, I think I might even go get some later on. Ask the people at work about me.
Now you know where.
Is the spot.
Now you know where you're eating tonight.
Yep.
I like that. Do you have a favorite place that you like to visit in Rhode Island?
Newport. I love Newport. I'm a history buff, so that's what I taught before I started being a guidance counselor. So everything about Newport, fascinates me. I like to look at the mansions around it, but I also like to look at just the differences that Newport in itself as a city presents. How one place can be this and one place can be another. So I love Newport.
Newport it's hard to not visit Newport and just walk around, right? And just look.
Go there usually in the summer I try to sneak up there, get some looks around, just relax and enjoy myself a little bit.
I like
Sometimes I gotta learn how to take care of myself. That's something I'm getting a little better at. They say self-care. One of the first thing they teach you in counseling school. So I'm trying to get a little better at that.
Good for you. That's why I feel like I should ask you what you like to do for fun, because it sounds like you do a lot of taking care of other people.
Yes, I do, and believe it or not, I'm a jazz guy. I like to listen to jazz. I'm trying to learn how to play the guitar. My neighbors just volunteer to help me out. So I definitely love smooth jazz, basketball. Sometimes when I can't sleep, I'll go to Gaynor Street Park and at nighttime and just shoot around. But yeah, music definitely. Tupac is my guy. Tupac is definitely one of my favorite artists. So still better than Biggie. I don't care what you all say.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
So Tupac is my guy.
Tupac. Do you have any? Did you go to the jazz festival in Newport, or did you listen to any
Not this year.
Any recent jazz?
Not this year. I didn't go to the festival this year because I work with some new teachers at Brown University in the MAT program to help them get ready to teach. And I also finished my last year up at URI. I work with the talent development program as a tutor there, and I help students out there. So this summer was a bit tight.
You're too busy working.
Definitely tight this summer.
Too busy changing Rhode Island to have some fun. We'll gotta get you next year.
You follow all these other good role models around here. And you try to emulate what it is they're doing, and you do the best that you can.
All right. So I do want to ask you one more thing, just kind of as we wrap things up here, because I feel like you've made such a difference on young people's lives. What do you think other people can do to help move Rhode Island forward?
I think it's important that I think one of the greatest fallacies we have about education in this country is you got to wait to get to college to get there. I don't believe that. I think that the men specifically in my neighborhood, you need to start to step up to volunteer to be a mentor for a young kid. If you work at an engineering company, if you can create a way that this kid can just follow you one day and see what you do, come into the schools and speak to students, tell them exactly what you do. I think it's so important that professionals of color step into our school and tell kids what they do. Any profession, as a matter of fact, but for me, professional of color is important because kids need to see what it is, what they're trying to be later on. So if you can come into the schools, if you contact me at any point, I'll get you into a classroom, I'll get you in front of some students, but I think it's important that you need to be in a position where you can help these young people see what you do, mentor them for a day, long-term mentorship, anything of that nature I think is important for you to do.
I like that. I think that's important. Just being able to put yourself out there and show, hey, this is possible. You're already doing that.
Absolutely.
You're doing that every day.
And I think I've gotten some guys into the school to come and talk to students, and it's been life-changing for some of the students because now you want to be an engineer and you see, okay, here's somebody who's actually doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
Just the last week, 2 weeks ago, I had a young guy who wanted to be an engineer. We took him to a firm on a Saturday morning, picked him up, took him out, and he got to see what this man did as an electrical engineer, and his mind was blown. So now he's like, oh, I know what I need to do. And the guy talked to him, hey, this is what you need to do in college to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important. If you own a business and a young guy want to be a business, hey, is there a way he can volunteer at your shop or something like that? So I think those are all things will help young people in Rhode Island get a real sense of what it is, at least where it is they're trying to go. So that's something I'm strongly in for.
I like that, and help make a difference within the community. We all can make a simple step, right?
It just takes a little bit, man. Everybody just doing their little part. And oftentimes when people ask me, I'll say, hey, I'm just doing my part. Thank you, but I'm just doing my part because I think it takes all of us. Just you, I'm so grateful that you invited me here because by giving me this platform, you may not know none of these kids that I work with, or you may, but now you're helping somebody else by providing me your platform. So it takes everybody to just do their part.
I like that. Well, I think we'll leave it at that. Richard Norris, he is a guidance counselor, and small business owner?
I started like a little venture recently just to help young people to, put a little bit of money in their pocket. So I take guys out to work with me, and so they can see, and I was just talking to Kay, some of the guys said, wow, this is hard. I was like, well, good. I'm glad this is hard because I want you to be able to use more of this in the future than less of the muscle. So it's a little project to start. It's growing a little bit, but we'll be good soon enough. But I'm glad I'm able to at least provide another way for one of these young guys. There was a kid who couldn't afford football cleats, so he was going to quit playing football. It's $150.
Yeah.
There's no reason
It's
the
tough.
kid should quit playing because he couldn't afford. So he came and worked with me, did a couple jobs, and he was able
Got
to
the money?
buy his
Good.
own things. And then you can see the smile on his face, like I did that on my own.
That's
So
awesome.
That's
I
just
earned
another
these
one.
cleats, so I earned it. That's awesome.
Yes. So hey, that's just doing my part,
I love it. I love
Yeah.
that. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for being one of our emerging leaders in partnership with the United Way. We love it. Hopefully you can, well, I don't think you're going to take any time for yourself this weekend, but maybe you can. Maybe you can go out and get some dinner.
Get a little bit in, I got to take the lady out a little bit before
Okay,
school
good.
starts. So,
Good.
But again, thank you so much for
thank
inviting
you.
me.
When are you guys headed back to school?
The students go
Soon,
back
right?
in about September 5th, but the teachers are back. I'm in probably next week as well, working on some other stuff at school.
Good. Well, thank you so much.